Meteorologist Aaron Tuttle here with you. It is Thursday evening, about 9:45. So we're going to do probably about a 10-minute weather update. See how things look out there this evening. Don't know if all my streams are working. I can tell that this ice has hurt my internet connection. Ice, baby. All right, well, we'll see what happens. If the stream drops or pauses, you'll know why. The throughput's not perfect, but that happens sometimes in crazy weather. All right, looks like I got the Facebook notification. Well, thanks for Facebook for letting me know and for muting that thing. All right, so let's get on with it. I'm going to show you what is happening. We'll see where we are. Boy, that thing is just not happy. Oh, why are you doing that? Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. All right. Well, right now the videos are still going up. I don't know how, but they're making it. You guys are here, so let's get on with it. First thing I want to show you is the big picture. So plenty of rainfall still out across the state. As you can see where the blue line is, that's the freezing line out there. So that's until that line moves to the west of your area. In other words, as long as you're along that blue line and points to the west of it, you're still going to be under the gun for some more freezing rain. East of this line, no freezing rain. So you can see how it cuts Oklahoma City right in half. And that's why I was telling you it was just too close to call during this event. And I would expect at least a few hours here in the metro of a little bit of light freezing rain. Not enough to do anything to power lines or anything, but maybe it's enough to cause some slippery spots on bridges and overpasses. And so far, that's the only threat that we've had here this evening. Everything else has been just to the west, and it has been kind of messy out along I-40, some road closures, accidents, all that kind of deal. Here's a look at temperatures again on the big picture of the map across the state. Again, the yellow line is where the freezing point is on this map. So if you're at 32 or above, you've got nothing to worry about. You're at 32 below. You're still in the ice zone. If you're right at 32, well, it depends on if it's 32.1 or 31.9, but roughly you're not going to have to really worry about anything when it's right at 32. So once it gets down around 31, it's really kind of when you really need to start to pay more attention than out here in the 20s. And this is the actual air temperatures. Now what I'm going to do is show you the the wet bulb temperatures. Now you're going, well, wet bulb. Well, I've been talking about this for a while. So when the temperature and the dew point meet, and it's called the wet bulb, when they kind of bottom out. So this wet bulb is also a good way of kind of seeing where your freezing potential is. In other words, when all the precipitation falls down and saturates that air. So anywhere where you see 31 to 32, that little zone, you still can get a little touch of some freezing drizzle during that period of time. But if you the take home with this is it's much colder out here to the western parts of the state. So that means any freezing rain or drizzle will accumulate better, harder, and cause more of an issue deeper you go into the colder air versus say across southeastern the southeast of that area into the kind of the green region. We're kind of in the zone where things are starting to improve and moderate. Here's kind of a look at the wind field. Now, the little red barbs are what the direction of the wind is coming from. So here across the state, they're pretty much all now coming out of a east-northeast fashion. So what happens is these winds will continue to kind of come around the east for the next couple of hours and start to turn around to the southeast. And what that'll do is to help erode and moderate those temperatures here along the central Oklahoma region. That's what's going to help to warm things up and get above freezing. So even though here in the metro we're still officially at the freezing point of 32 degrees, dew point of 31. So like I said, we still have another small window here left over through about midnight. We can still get some bridges and overpasses, a little icy. But again, all the significant accumulation should be out west of Oklahoma City. If you look down southwest, you see where the wind barbs are missing. So this is just in Canadian County. So from Canadian County south-southwest, this little hot spot, that is where the ice is accumulated on the anemometers for the mesonet. It's just a quick, dirty way of seeing where significant ice has accumulated already, causing at least some weight on tree limbs and power outages, power lines and that kind of deal, which could cause some power outages. So bottom line is, folks, nothing has changed from what I've told you from days ago. Everything on the forecast is just like it should be. I don't see reasons to change anything. Things will slowly improve overnight from east to west. There'll be some remnants and leftover precipitation in the form of some frozen stuff in western Oklahoma. I'll show you that here on the model replay. So you can see all the red indicates freezing rain here across central, northern, southwestern, western Oklahoma. The purple's a little bit of sleet mixed in. As we go into the 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock to midnight hour, we still have kind of that mixture starting to now vacate Canadian County to the west out toward Kingfisher now, so kind of already starting to moderate. The map has more green on it, less red as we head into the late night hours. Still little patchy regions of freezing rain through about 6 a.m. tomorrow, and that's across northwestern Oklahoma, around Woodward, Major County, Fairview, Shattuck, Eric, Burns Flat, kind of way out in western Oklahoma, that little sliver there of counties. And then once you head from about that point to 9 o'clock, all that freezing rain is over with, replaced by just will thaw out, and we'll continue some rain showers throughout the day here across the state until the evening hours. They kind of finally move out of here on into Arkansas. So amounts, again, are going to be tough as far as the accumulation of the ice to measure at this point. Rainfall amounts, though, however, pretty significant still. You take what we've had so far and you add to it, some areas around an inch to an inch and a half, no problem by this time tomorrow. So some very good beneficial rain across the body of the state. We just kind of have to deal with a little bit of the freezing rain out into west and northwest Oklahoma. So if you guys get some power outages out that way, there should be a few of them, hopefully sporadic and minor. They'll get fixed rather quickly because the weather will cooperate once the system moves on through. I can show you also, let me go back to that map I had a moment ago. I got some followers, of course, into Kansas and also into Missouri, and they're going to go, hey, what about us, right? Well, you can see, you know what, let me switch direction here. We'll take the top-down view. Let's see here. Okay, so in the top-down view, you get Kansas getting a lot of this sleet and freezing rain mixture, by the way, overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. You also see in southwest Missouri, Joplin's right here on the corner. It is right at your door, so it's right over my shoulder, like right there. And you're on that dividing line. Ice to the east of you, rain to the west. So it's too close to call. Most of the data I've seen, it just keeps you above freezing by a tenth of a degree, something that silly. So from that point though eastward you've got ice, and that point northward you've got ice, and that continues on in. It changes over to snow when you get into that blue region in Iowa and Kansas, or excuse me, Nebraska. But this icy mess will move out of that region also by Friday night. We can look at the ice totals. Let me go to a different model for that part of the country as well. Let's see here. Let's go here. So here's a 24-hour snapshot, and let's see, make sure I got the right one. Okay, I do. Hasn't really changed. Just about a quarter to half inch of ice. Some places maybe a little higher here in parts of Missouri and Kansas. Here and even Oklahoma, same kind of deal. Quarter of an inch, maybe a little higher, up to, there's some spots in here, little isolated areas up to about half an inch. So that's kind of just standard. That hasn't really changed any. If we take a look at the Weather Service graph, and I actually agree with this round that they've got put out. Freezing rain / rain mixture in this little blue area. And then all freezing rain out to the west, a little bit of sleet mixed in, otherwise a lot of freezing rain north and west. This is for up through about midnight, and then overnight, from that point forward, you can see how it starts to shrink. We're starting to shove the hardcore freezing rain back out west, and then that's into the very, very early morning hours. And then as far as totals go, they extended the trace amount of an inch here from Osage County back through the metro on into a Lawton area. Again, a lot of this has already happened or is currently happening, so it's not going to amount to much. And then west of this light pink area into the purple onward is where you quickly can get the quarter of an inch, and then sometimes some isolated areas. And honestly, there's some hot spots in here, not including this little pink area that show up in the model data. Favorites up around Kingfisher, one little south of there, south of Clinton. So just little things, and you may not be able to predict them completely in the data, but needless to say, that's what the latest looks like. This kind of a forecast was short and sweet. There wasn't really much else to tell you. I mean, at this point, it's not necessarily really a forecast. It's just verification at this point. I will tell you that I do appreciate you guys that have taken notice from my blog on Sunday that said, hey, wait a minute, when everybody's calling for rain and 50s, you might want to think about an ice storm. And, ice storms are interesting, especially in the model data, because they don't always depict them or catch them very well. This is a prime example of that. It's more of a pattern recognition. So you can look at the models yourself at home, just like the other guys can on TV and everything. And if the model's going rain and 50, and you go, okay, well, that's what the forecast is, that may not necessarily be the case as it was here for today and tonight. Now, for you folks out in western Oklahoma that are getting the thicker ice that can cause some of the power outages, like I said, this is the best type of ice storm you want. It's short-lived. It's at the critical point where temperatures are struggling to stay into the 20s, and they're mostly in the low 30s, which means that the ice can melt a lot easier. It doesn't harden so much. It's softer, if you will, and it melts faster. So when things kind of warm up, we're in a better position for that. I will show you. Let me load this up. This is kind of interesting. Do this here real quick. So I'm going to look up something on my page while you guys talk amongst yourself. Okay. And this is on my website, AaronTuttleWeather.com. So this is under the Oklahoma road conditions. And I've thrown on here the temperatures of the mesonet into the 40s, just kind of give you an idea. This is better for when it comes to snow, if you want to see if the snow is going to stick to the grassy surfaces. But this can also be a gauge somewhat of roadways when it comes to ice to a degree. Ice is a little different animal, so the ground temperatures don't have as much of an effect, especially at nighttime. We also can look at there's a snow route map, by the way, but we can look at the Oklahoma road conditions map here and see that in northwest Oklahoma there's a lot of delays showing up, and the slowdown is very moderate in some of these. I know earlier on 40 there were some lanes that were closed and there were a lot of accidents. So you can see how most of these reports now anchored into the western, we'll call it the western third of the state as far as the slippery conditions are concerned. You can find this again on my website, AaronTuttleWeather.com. Here's a look at Oklahoma City. Things are moving along pretty decent, so there's no red on the map, which indicates no major accidents or closed roads or anything like that. But just got to be careful because of black ice at night. Won't take much for you to find a little spot and slip and lose control. So thankfully we kind of dodged a bullet here. When you're sitting at 32.1 degrees, or to 32.5 to 33, I'm telling you, man, as a meteorologist, that'll make you pull your hair out trying to, it's like a needle in a haystack. It's terrible to try to forecast that nonsense. And you guys, of course, expect it down to every single neighborhood. And that is a tough request, let me tell you. I can't look at power outages, Oklahoma power outages. This is from the OG&E. You can go to this website as well and check them out. And we can see so far, looks like from their website, no power outages are included. I have the co-ops on here too that you can take a look at if you live in some of the outlying areas. And then one of the last things I want to show you here that we can look at, and I need to add a couple of these maps on here, but I got the Oklahoma Mesonet on here, and that's just some of the maps I showed you to start this broadcast. And I'll show I need to add the wet bulb temperature on there, because that was actually really good to show you, because that can also kind of tell you how things are evolving. Again, this is a look at the current temperatures, and we're across the metro, 32 degree temperature with a dew point of 31. So when you wet bulb those down, you're still wet bulbing technically below freezing, and that's why those elevated surfaces, bridges, and overpasses for the next hour or so can still be susceptible to getting a few slick spots just to the west as predicted, and also off to the north. All right, that's it. I'm going to skim through some of your questions, comments, feedbacks, concerns, hate, love, war, whatever you got. Let's see. Oh, so if you're asking, especially if you haven't been following along on the trends here, and you're going, what about tomorrow morning? You're fine here in Oklahoma City. No travel problems. I mean, it'll be rain, so that's enough to cause accidents, but you won't have to deal with any ice. If you're here on I'm watching you guys on YouTube chat, and Nat, no, you don't have to worry about anything from Seminole to Oak City. from any time from that point onward. Let's see. Yeah, Yukon, El Reno, you guys are more in that freezing rain zone. Okay, so that takes care of you guys. Go to my patrons here, my Facebook page. Paul Stowe, I saw your comment. Ripping on Morgan. It's funny because, it's just funny. He's very competitive. It's fine with me. I don't care. But that's just, the nature of the beast. Yeah, I've only seen a couple of the other forecasts just because I'm busy. I'm busy. I don't have time to monitor every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. So unless you guys tell me or show me, I honestly don't know half the time of what anybody says. I kind of like it that way. Ignorance is bliss. Keeps me out of drama and trouble. So let's see. Christy wants to know about bridges, overpasses between Moore and Norman. Nope, you're good down there because you're actually just above freezing. It's just for Oklahoma City and points north and west. So from the south side to the south of the south side, you're good. Yeah, safe trip. Yeah, should have no problem. So again, thanks patrons for your support. They're on a private group Facebook page for weather, and they got access to that by becoming a Facebook fan subscriber or joining my Patreon. And you can do that by just clicking the link in this description above, and you get the links to how you can join with that. Even my prior post on Facebook, there's a link on there on my main page where I ask you to kind of post your ice pictures if you have them. There's also a link there how you can join. And if you do have pictures, by the way, you take some pictures of your ice. Make sure you tag it AT's weather, like hashtag AT's weather on like your Instagram or Twitter or your own Facebook post when you do it publicly, and it'll show up on my website. And I'm trying to build like a community of AT's, pictures from you guys, and that would be awesome to show. So let me go look at that real quick while I'm perusing your comments. Let's see. So just once again, talks amongst yourself. Let's see, where am I going? Social media. Okay, so far, elsewhere as well. So, you're welcome. A lot of thank yous, so a lot of welcomes going back at you guys and gals. Let's see. I use guys for both plural, men and women. It covers everything. It's he, she, him, her, non-binary, I don't care, whatever. I'm going to just say guys to cover it all, and it doesn't even actually mean the word guy, so I don't know, I'm just weird that way. But it's all in a positive way, nothing negative. Let's see. You're welcome, Michelle. Let's see. I'm just kind of scrolling through the comments here on the main page. If you guys have any quick questions, I can only go up so far. If you have any questions, by the way, when I do these lives, just kind of hold them to the end, and then I'll try to answer a couple of them. Because I usually can't see them when I'm looking at maps and stuff. All right. Are we going to have a big freezing storm? Well, we've got one now, and that'll be ending late tonight, early tomorrow from east to west. Which is weird because you guys normally hear west to east. It's odd to say something east to west, ending. Because normally rain moves across the state from west to east. Ice and snow moves from west to east. This time around, the ice ends from east to west. It's a bizarre way of looking at it. Your brain doesn't want to accept it. All right. Okay, so done with those comments, and I think that's about it. It's a little after 10. I'm going to run. So you guys out in western Oklahoma, hang tight. Hopefully you got for those that do lose power, if you got some generators or whatever. It'll be cold Friday. I mean, just because you get above freezing doesn't mean it's going to warm up and be great. It's still going to be quite cold. But at least things will be improving quickly so that the crews can get out there and do some repairs. And just be careful on the roadways if you're headed out late tonight. Roads will be slippery. It's all during the daytime because we don't have that solar radiation to kind of help keep the streets a little clearer. So, let's see. Kim wants to know any snow chances toward the end of January. Oh, what? KK, what about Shawnee? Nope, you're all in the clear. You must be late to the party. I'll tell you what, though. let me show you one map for you that are still sticking around for the next week. I talked about it before at lunchtime, and maybe last night, I can't remember. I've slept since then, barely. And I'll show you what the long range looks like for more winter weather, because we do have some. Exciting, huh? At least potential. I haven't looked like in depth because I've been focused on this event and other things, but this will at least give you a little sneak peek. So hang on here, let me get this loaded. Alright. Okay, so we go through time. That's the system for tonight. And then let's see what we got here. Where's Tuesdays? So here's Tuesday's deal. There. The whole lot, the dusting. So that's still showing up in the model data, but will it disappear? Possibly. I just looked at it sounding just now. Right along with you, live as we speak. And it's just about a degree less than the 0 degree line all the way down, so the atmosphere seems to think it's cold enough for snow. And none of this, rain monkey business where the snow never happens because it never transitions over or it transitions back over to rain. So we'll see. That's a good strong signal. That's again late Tuesday. And then the system comes in from the west after that, which pumps in moisture from Texas. Get some storms going in Arkansas and northeast Texas. Could there be some severe weather? Maybe. But look on the backside. Here in the Panhandle area, this is on Thursday during the day. Into Thursday night, we got some more snow moving through the state into Friday morning. So there's 2 systems for next week. Just a quick sneak peek. Both for a little bit of that white stuff. I will do more analysis and in-depth diving into the data at a later time, but not at this moment. But it's a good question, and I'm glad you asked it. All right, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a great evening, sleep well, and enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll talk again soon. Take care, everybody, and thanks again for your support.